Hi, everyone. So today's podcast episode is super exciting. We actually have a guest in today. My sister is here co-hosting with us. And Seema, say hello.
Hi, I'm not on camera today, but I'm going to be off to the side.
But you know what? Seema has great input.
Yeah.
I can't do an episode without you. I was like, you have to be in this. She's like, I don't fit in the shot. I'm like, I don't care. We just need you on mic. So I'm glad Seema is here with us. And today I'm going to be introducing one of our very first students with the Beauty Institute. I think BB joined us maybe 2 years ago, and I watched her journey, and I've always been interested in the details. I've always been interested in how did this happen? She started out, I remember she sent me this mannequin head via email, and it had she drew a spider web on this mannequin's head and neck. And she's laughing right now, but I want to introduce her because she's just come such a long way since that mannequin head, and I want you guys to meet her too. She's really awesome. So, BB, say hello, introduce yourself to everybody, where you're from, and just kind of little intro.
Hi everyone. That mannequin head, I can't stop laughing.
Do you remember that?
I do. I have her hidden somewhere because that was like my first time I tried a tiny tattoo. It ended up her whole neck like a big spider web on her neck. I don't know what the hell I was doing. But I was like, all right, I'm doing this.
I remember seeing it, and I was like, you emailed it to me, and I was like, wait, you got something there. I remember, and you got so excited. I was like, yeah, you definitely know how to hold the machine. It looked like you have hidden potential, and then ever since you just been taking baby steps to the top.
Yeah, definitely baby steps. It's taken me a long time. So my name is, well, I go by BB. I'm from New York. I'm a permanent makeup artist now in Connecticut. That's where I live now. Yeah, baby steps.
What's your
It's taken
IG?
me,
So people listening could try to follow you and see your work and stuff. It's at what?
it's B.B.PMU.
Okay, you guys follow her
So,
so you can kind of see, I don't know, her work while we chat. You can connect with her a little bit more.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
let's.
going through a little transition phase with my Instagram and my name on Instagram because my business name is different than my Instagram. So it's like, I don't know yet how to combine it because everybody knows me as what it was. And now I have, BB Brows. So I'm like, oh, how do I do this?
Oh my God, girl, that
So
was
it's,
my thing. Yeah, I remember when I started out as makeup and henna.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my first username was makeup underscore n underscore henna, and because all I did was makeup and body art henna. And then later on, years later, I didn't want to identify with those two services, so I just made it Shay Al Said. So I
hmm
remember that was a big deal that I people thought my name was Henna, which was so weird. I'm like, why would my name be Henna?
and henna.
Literally.
Yeah, so transitions as we grow and just figure things out. So that's where I am right now. But I started with BBPMU, and yeah, that's where I am right now on Instagram. But now I have my own place. I went through my apprenticeship. It took me a long time. I started slow. I do everything kind of slow, not because I'm slow paced, because I'm very fast paced, but I like to I'm a perfectionist too, so I like to learn everything as much as I can before I'm come off as an expert. I'm like I pick everything apart.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it shows when I look at your work, especially you started off doing lips not too long ago,
hmm
maybe a year or so ago, and I know you trained with a few different people, and I've watched your lips evolve pretty quickly. But I
Yeah.
think for me, I remember, I know the part of your journey that made me the most interested in interviewing you was the fact that licensing was really hard in your state, and you had to jump through a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of hoops to just have a good job. And I feel like you made it your dream, you made it your goal, And I feel like you met some good people along the way, and you met some people that helped you, but maybe could have helped you more if they wanted to. Um, I just feel like that that's something that a lot of people go through, especially starting out in areas that need apprenticeship hours. It's sometimes it's weaponized by people higher up in the industry rather than like looked at as I could be a mentor. It's looked at as, okay, well, I have the upper hand. So I feel like you dealt with that, and I kind of want to dive into that because a lot of people deal with that, and it would help them know how you got through it so that they can get through it too.
So basically, I mean, the stars weren't aligned a couple times, and I just had to get through, just do my time, basically, and keep doing what I was doing, everything at home, and just, you can't deny somebody that's bringing it. I was really bringing it and learning a lot on my own too, because even though you do like have an apprenticeship with someone, they're busy too, with their own whatever they're doing. It's really up to like your own drive, your own, like, do I want this? Do I want to do this? Because when you want something, what do? You go hard, right? So
Yeah.
I just, I know that even, showing up for a training, it's like, okay, I've been trained, I know, but what after? You still have to keep going. You still have to keep learning, and still there's so much more than just that. It's not only hands on, it's everything I put into it on my own,
Yeah.
like literally every day something, even if it's not like actually practicing with the machine, learning theory. And it's a lot of color science, a lot of skin science, a lot of anatomy. And like, I'm like, wait, hold up. I didn't sign up to be like a surgeon or like a chemist, but like, I feel like, I'm learning, I'm dipping and diving and everything, because you have to learn all these things to do a great job, at what we're
Yeah.
doing. Like tattooing people's faces, it takes a lot of knowledge, and a lot of just continuing education. So
No, I love
it
that you
was,
said that. I feel like that's one of our biggest hurdles with training online is that people will underestimate an online course and will just come in, and I know you hear this a lot where people will say it's, oh, I'm better hands-on. I'm better. They say I'm better in person, or like they'll skip the theory, they'll skip the science, they'll skip the boring stuff because they assume that once they're in the course in person with us, they're like, I'm more of an in-person hands-on person. And it's like that's
mm-mm.
just a lazy way of saying I didn't want to do the extra part. I didn't want it bad enough.
Yeah,
Because if you
no
want
way.
it bad enough, like you said, you would do the science stuff, you would do all the anatomy stuff, you would do
Hmm.
the color theory, like you would do all the boring stuff that could be in an online course. Like it doesn't, I don't have to sit there and be with you in person to lecture. A lecture, now we're in like 2023. So I feel like now that's just like really not an excuse. I love that you brought that up. Was there like state regulations with you, like that you had to kind of like overcome? Was getting your own place like kind of hard? Was it easy? Like how was the legal part of things for you? How did you overcome that? Because a lot of people get stuck so hard at that, and they actually don't overcome it. And it's not a skill issue. Sometimes I don't know how the regulations are in your state, and I don't know if you had to move like counties or if you had to move at all. But I know that there's some areas where you just couldn't work unless you worked in a certain place and that place would want you to be there, or
Hmm.
you couldn't open up your place without a certain requirement.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So a lot of all of that. It was, so my state requires 2,000 hours with a licensed tattoo artist. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a permanent makeup artist, but as wanting to get into cosmetic tattooing, I knew that going into an apprenticeship with a body artist, they don't really know what we do. You
no.
know, color theory is different, everything's different, the skin science is different. It's just different, techniques and everything. So like I'm like, okay, I don't mind being in a tattoo shop, but that's not what I wanted. I want to be more of like luxury services, for
Yeah.
women, and just more. of a private appointment type thing and in a different environment. I mean, I have tattoos. I love them. They're great. But for me, I was just like, okay, I need to find a permanent makeup artist that is offering apprenticeship. So basically, I had to do 2,000 hours, but I completed 2,500 hours because I was in between two places, you know, about all of that. And it was
Yeah.
just it was just really hard, you know, to that whole time frame and all the work that I put in. But I knew that even before my apprenticeship, like I knew that it was going to be hard to get in anywhere with like nothing, you know. In other states, you can kind of like apply or take a whatever 3 hour BBP or whatever, and then you get a license if you're in
That's
an
how it is in
establishment.
Michigan.
Yeah. So like here, it's like I was calling around. I really didn't have too much work to show. I had a couple models after training. Nobody wanted me. None of the tattoo shops were even trying to hear it. Apprenticeship, no way. You know, especially permanent makeup, like no way. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna keep training myself, keep taking the online trainings. You know, this is right after COVID too. You know, my son's 20. I can do me now. You know, like I can go hard on myself. My son is pretty. He's taking care of himself now. You know, so it's like okay, I'm just gonna do what I can. If I can't travel, I'll take online. And online, there's nothing wrong with it, to be honest. Both are great in their own ways. Online, I feel like it was great because I could watch you know, your online course over and over again. I can rewind, I can pause, I can take notes. Not only that, like how many extensions did you give me? I'd be like, oh God, not another one, but I have to pass this. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
challenge for myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet and ask her for another extension because I really want, it's not even about the certificates. I needed to have like you to be like, you know what? Yes, you did it, you know, and push
Yeah.
myself too, because I felt like if I didn't pass, you know, my courses and get my certificates, then I felt like it was like incomplete for me and that I didn't want to lose that, you know, that grit. I wanted to keep going and show that I can do this. And eventually it will happen because I mean, I'm only practicing every freaking day of my life. So like what else is gonna come for it from it, you know? But good. So like yeah, and even in my town, like when I finally got my license in February, it's going on 3 years that you know I'm in permanent makeup. But like I know a lot of people have started even months before me, but they're in different states and they're already like thousands of followers, thousands of clients, and it's really slow for me because of the licensing situation. um just a lot of just getting in somewhere was really hard. I came with, look, this is what I have. These are all the courses I took. This is all the training I took. How could you not want me? You know, I did this all on my own. Nobody pushed me, you know, or I was doing it. I knew that eventually somebody's gonna take me with all my, you know,
Yeah.
just
No,
my
that's
own self
I love
improvement.
that. I love that because like anybody listening to this podcast could literally just kind of remember put in the work yourself, like make yourself so desirable at a
Hmm.
shop that it would be stupid for somebody to say no with somebody with so much talent and there's so many ways that people I mean practicing in your home is not illegal. Tattooing in your home in a lot of states is not legal, but
Hmm.
nobody's gonna stop you from showing work on silicone over and over and over. Nobody's
Hmm.
going to stop you from building a portfolio on fake skin and going in a shop with that. So you basically built a portfolio with a lot of certifications, a lot of
Hmm.
practice, and you just how many places did you have to apply at before somebody said, "Okay, you know what? Like we're going to give you the apprenticeship."
So I was first I tried the tattoo shops and that was really hard. They were just like straight up no, and it's gonna be really hard for you because no one wants to deal with that, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, and then plus the 2,000 hours, the liability and all that. And then when I finally got into one, that was okay for a little bit, but then it became, you know, I'm here as like you're my mentor. I don't care if you're 5, 10 years younger than me, you know more than me. I'm here to learn from you. I'm a student. I'm not here to compete or to take away ever. Like I'm not that type of person. So a lot of things didn't work out. And then I finished my you know, with the second apprenticeship, I finished that. And then it was just like, okay, what's next? You know, the stars aren't aligning here either. I have to move on. So instead of reaching out to everybody in the state at the tattoo shops that like told me no in the beginning and didn't give me a chance, I was like, you know what? I need my own place because I just need a spot to work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of overhead, and yeah, now I have to worry about other things, but you know what? Everybody that told me no, I want them to hit me up and be like, we want you to come in. We want you to do, like now you come to me because when I needed it, which is understandable, but when you talk to me, you know that I'm about my shit. I'm not here to play around. If I'm going to do something, I'm going all in. So like, I just felt like, you know what, it's just best for me to have my own place and figure it out
So
and
you got
just,
your hours and you were
yeah.
like, you bounced to the next thing. You're like, okay, I just needed my hours. I don't need the bullshit. I don't need anything else. Like, you got your portfolio, you got your experience, you got everything that you legally had to that did slow you down, but along the way, like, you learned so much. And then
Hmm.
you're like, okay, has to be the next step is being in your own place, which I could see in the
Yeah.
background is really cute.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank
So
you. I'll show you
cute.
guys around before we close off. I'll definitely walk around really quick. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot, I was driving. Sometimes it would take me 2 hours to get home, and I'm talking highway miles, not like, stoplights or back roads. 2 hours to get home, an hour and a half to. So it's just a lot of commute, a lot of, I've been doing that for a long time already, so I just wanted peace, calmness. I wanted to be closer to home more so I can just kind of do
Yeah,
my own
no, I
thing.
remember that. I remember that. I remember you
Yeah.
said that you found an apprenticeship that was 2 hours away from you and you would go every day, which that's why I wanted her on this podcast.
Mm,
Who the fuck is doing that?
that's dedication
Yeah,
for
like
Yeah,
sure.
it was hard.
we don't see that. We train so many
Dude,
people.
yeah, there's like
It
people
was
that
hard.
fly out like hours that don't complete any work, actually.
Dude, we've had
Mm,
people come to the real life workshop and miss days, and they were only 3 days that had to be here. So, like, the
wow.
difference between your dedication and between some of the stuff that
Wow.
we see sometimes is like night and day. And I feel like that is why successful people are the 1%, are the 2%, is because that type of dedication, like, that's that's what you have to be to actually make that kind of progress. Like, it's
Yeah.
not easy. I know a lot of people, they come into the permanent makeup industry thinking that it's going to be easy money. Like tattooing,
Mm-mm.
permanent makeup, oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, it's girly. Like, I know how to curl my hair at home, so I could do
Yeah.
this. No, it's like really not like that at all. Like, especially hearing your story, it kind of shows the fucking dedication that has to be put in for you to
Yeah.
like get out. And I've been following your journey, and I know that you said that some people started out like on this same timeline as you and you feel like they've gone further, but knowing your story, like, you had to do so many more steps, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's something to celebrate. Like, I wouldn't even, everybody has their own path, but the fact that you overcome that, like, I'm sure that that must feel good on your end. Like, holy shit, like, just looking back must feel good too.
It does. It does. Nothing, and I'm not saying like, it should be easy. I want everything. It's never, nothing in my life. It's always been hard for me. So I've always had to like tear shit up to get what I want, like just go hard. I've always had to. So I knew that I was going to have to go hard with this too. And this is what I want to do. And I just have to do what needs to be done to be great at it, successful, have the results that I'm trying to, I don't, it's easy. Like, yeah, when you learn how to powder a brow and then after a 3-day class, you're like, okay, I've seen it. And these girls are doing brows and and I'm like, how the hell? But do you know like what you're really doing? Do you know like what's even the makeup of what you're using, like what's in your pigment bottle, what's your CI, all that stuff, like
Yeah,
I learned all of it because I know that that's what we're supposed to know, as a
yeah.
professional. You can't just do it and walk away, there's a lot more to it. Even after licensing, like my town, there's never been a tattoo shop here. You can look it up in the history of this town. it's hysterical because like I'm like, okay,
Where are you
I'm
from?
not uh my studio's in Niantic.
Niantic.
So yeah, so like I'm by pretty much by Groton is the submarine capital of the world, where the base is there, the Navy base. So like the tattoo shops are in Groton, they're in New London. There's never been one in this community. Even zoning, they were like, nah, we're good. And I'm like, I had to pretty much break it down to them what type of tattooing this is and how it, it changes lives. It does. It's an enhancement of someone's something that they've been, whatever. Everybody has a story on why they're obtaining permanent makeup and why they're coming for these services, so it's not like, but a tattoo shop in this community, it was like, and I'm on a main street, like where all the New Yorkers come up to their summer homes, and it's like crazy out here. I'm across the street from the beach, it's like
Are you
pretty
serious?
crazy. Yeah, it's pretty dope. So like I knew I had to get in here. So I had a lot of like, even with him, a lot of convincing to do and explaining what I do. And you really have to know what you're talking about. You have to know your shit. If you're gonna do something, you have to know what you're doing. Like,
So did you have to
um,
like talk to the city? Like
yes,
did you have to call up the health department and
yes.
whoa, man,
Well,
that is dedication. How'd you do
yeah.
that?
I don't know, just day by day, I'm just like, all right, this is what it is. Once I get through this, it's the next step. And then whatever, I just keep getting through whatever obstacles. And then
Did
now
you
I'm
did you
here. So
feel
I'm
like
like,
the city was a little bit more lenient with you after you explained to them that it was like a luxury service and it was permanent makeup and it wasn't because we had some issues too because we do tattoos, so we
mhm,
do take tattooing as well. And I feel like when I explained to the city that because we were looking to also open up a shop, we looked at different cities in Michigan. We looked at higher end cities like Northville and Plymouth and all these like really pretty cities that we wanted to be at, and they were not like zoned for tattooing.
mhm.
And when I brought up that we were an online company that also does permanent makeup, I noticed that people were a little bit nicer to us, but not much nicer. But when I
Yeah.
introduced ourselves as tattoo artists, any official just dismissed us right away. And
Mhm.
they assumed like they treated us so badly, like as if we're like some broke losers when like we're
Yes.
literally operating like a seven-figure company. And just introducing ourselves as tattoo artists made us get treated like we were some hoodlums, literally. Like it was so disrespectful. Like I
Yeah.
literally just I never gotten so disrespected as much as when we were trying to find a tattoo studio and
Yep.
introduce, like I had to. And I've spoken to other really successful permanent makeup artists in the industry, and I asked them like, "Hey, when you were trying to relocate your tattoo shop or a permanent makeup studio, like did you notice that you were getting discriminated against?" And they were like, "Hell yeah, like it
Yeah.
was, all the rudeness, this and that, like especially just being a woman and being a young woman, you're already not
Yes.
looked at as an authority. But then being a woman, a young woman who's a tattoo artist, it just did not, nobody wanted to lease us anything. Even though we were going
Nope.
to make the payment, they just thought we were going to bring in like this weird crowd of people when that's not true. Like I'm sure your clients are like high end, like respectable women, doctors, lawyers, like it doesn't even matter what you do for a living, but like the kind of crowd we see are people driving out from those cities. Like your people from your city are coming to my city because you don't want me there. When like the
Exactly.
people there want us there. So I
Mhm.
just feel like there's such a stigma, and the rules were written so long ago that they don't the rules don't match up with the work we do. Even the tattooing, the whole industry grew so far. Like
Yes.
the way it was regulated in the 60s and the 70s, it's not even the same industry anymore.
Mm-mm.
So I just feel like you had to literally explain it to these people like, "Hey,
Yep.
I do permanent makeup. It's a luxury service." And then and then explaining it in that way made them probably actually make better rules for tattoo artists as well. I mean, you educated them.
I did big time. It's crazy. Even the like my first meeting with the zoning, and they're way much older than me. Like, I mean, he could be my grandfather, and he's like, hold up, tattooing. We do not want motorcycles, guys on tatted up with Harleys and coming here with covered up. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this whole place is covered in bikers in the summer. But no, that's not the type of clientele or tattooing you do. He's like, oh, you do like the lashes? He just didn't get it until I broke it down. And then he was like literally his mouth was like open. He was like, wow, I'm going to have to put this into, our state attorney and let them know that we are giving you the green light. And I was like, okay, it
Oh,
worked,
crap.
but because I knew my shit and I
Yeah.
know how to talk to people. And so, yeah,
Oh my God. Though
yeah,
that's a
same thing with like
story.
health department. They were like, wow, he approved you. Cause everybody knows everybody, everybody knows everybody. They're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. And and it's so
Yeah.
hard to change their mind because they're
Yeah.
so set in their ways. They've been doing the
Yeah.
same thing for like 30 years. So your dedication and coming in like earlier you were saying like, when I want something, I go hard. And like you came in with that energy and you
Yeah.
got like an old head regulator to change his mind. Like, holy crap. So everybody was
Yeah, because
surprised. They're
I
like,
also told them what my goals are for the next like 5 years. What do I want to do with this? Like I said, I'm taking my time. Like with powder brows, nano brows. You know how long I've been practicing nano? Like I'm just getting in faces with
yeah,
my little hair strokes here and there because I want to make sure that when I do it, it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful and this is, it's my work and not only that, it's your face. So it's very important that I'm not messing around, it's not a game, so like I don't know. And then everything I told them about what I want to do later on and how these services, like people that don't have hair or can't grow hair or they're missing hair, losing color to their lips. Same thing, in the future, I plan on training in areolas, eyeliner, and then because he related to that with his wife with breast cancer and stuff, it was just like, I melted his heart in so many ways because it's not like people hear tattooing and they're like, yeah, whatever. There's every tattoo, there's tattoo places everywhere. But no, 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 wait, let me explain to you what this really is. So I really, really had to
yeah.
like, I'm glad I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's all I gotta say. Because, it helped me like to make people understand and welcome me in their community to open up shop. And now I'm in
Yeah. No,
like
that's
this
great.
place is a blessing. Like where I am is prime location. It's beautiful. The neighbors, everybody's been here 15, 20 years. Everyone's welcoming. It's different. It's like, what? Everybody's intrigued. So it's like I'm just really thankful and I'm still taking my time. I'm still in continuing education in between models, clients, learning. It's this journey is not it's not like oh, I'm gonna make fast money. I mean, yeah, there's people out there, I'm sure they're doing it, but that's not my mentality. I'm trying to be here for a long time, you know so it'll come because
Yeah.
it's my work is good. If your work is good and your results are good, that will come. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. But I'm not like,
And you obviously have great people skills. Like you won that man
yeah,
over. I couldn't even imagine how your clients must like relate to you and you probably win them over too because you're good with people and I feel
thank
like that
you.
probably
Yeah,
helps
I
you out a
really
lot
love
too.
to just be myself, and anywhere I work, if I can't be that, it's like, wow. So now I have to, learn the job and put on a front and act like somebody I'm not. It's like I need to be who I am because this is how I really connect with people, and this is what, it's just,
Yeah.
I'm not pretending, you know what I mean? Like it's just what it is. Like,
That's how we are too. I feel like everybody we hire here, we all have to
hmm
feel like we're being ourselves and like everyone has to be comfortable and like we're all a little bit weird and I feel like
hmm
that's what makes us us and I feel like the whole team has to accept every little weird part of everybody
yeah,
because
of course.
nobody's perfect. And I feel like so like we all
Yeah.
have a vice, you know? For example, I'm always late. You just gotta respect that. Period. That's my vice.
You were even late to your wedding.
I
Oh
was
my
late to my
God.
wedding.
An hour.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm always too early.
No, oh, it's your dedication. It's like you just have this like even speaking with you, it's like your energy's rubbing off on me. I can feel it rubbing off on my sister. Just like I can
Thank
feel
you.
that like
Yeah, thank
motivation,
you.
that drive, like, and that's rare. That's very rare, especially because like what you started your journey after your son was 20. So a lot of people like expect that type of journey, like they say, oh, like it's too late for me to start something new, like it's too late for me to push, because we do get emails like that too. Like people will bring up their part in their career and use it as an excuse of why they're not like pushing as hard or trying as hard. Like they'll be like, oh, I already did that, like I already did that somewhere else, but it doesn't
Yeah,
really transfer
yeah.
over. Just so I actually never asked you like what, I don't know if you're comfortable, but like what career were you in prior to permanent makeup? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but
No, it's
I've just
okay.
been
That's
curious.
probably where a lot of my people skills comes from too. Well, I was a bartender for many years, like eight years. So I started out in the clubs. My son was younger. He was probably in middle school, like mid middle school. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I started in the clubs, and then there's levels to everything, right? So I moved out from the strip clubs to the nightclubs, and I went to restaurants, and then like the beach clubs, like so I've worked for a long time, yeah, in the
With
bar
people.
scene. And then before that I was in the casino. Um I was a school bus driver when my son was younger. So I had my CDL for 10 years, but like I was just like I went to school. I have almost a bachelor's degree. I finished my associate's degree while my son was little, working full time mom, school full time. So it was like my son was my everything. And I know, like, I always wanted to be a makeup artist, but like for celebrity shit, like in New York, doing movies, doing sets,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I was a single mom. I was young. I was 19 when I had my son. So, like, now, like I said, when he pretty much like right after COVID and like everything was shut down, bartending, I'm like, what am I going to do? Like I'm in the industry, like the service industry. And it just was like, okay, you know what? Romeo's doing it. My son's name is Romeo. He's doing his thing. He's grown. He's taking care of himself. I mean, he always was through high school, junior high school, always had a job. But it's like, okay, now he's 20. I can go hard. I can travel. I can leave the state, go to New York for a couple of days. He's good, because we live out here alone. I don't have family here. I have all my family's in New York. I'm the only one that lives in Connecticut. So it's just, yeah, it's just
You told me that. Did you move
no, no,
after
no. I've
COVID?
been here. My son grew up here. I left here when he was about 3 years old.
Okay.
Um, I left New York to get him out. I wanted him to grow up quiet, and then it was just me and
Yeah.
him. His father passed away when I was like 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So, like, I just wanted him to have a quiet life. I didn't want it's hard enough to grow up with two parents in the city than it is a single mom and all the shit I went through. So I was like, you know what? I'm taking him out of here. It's going to be easier for me in a calmer environment.
Yeah.
Brooklyn
What
and
part of New
Queens.
York are you from?
But I'm born in Brooklyn. My whole
Okay.
father's side is
Yeah.
Brooklyn. My mother's side is Queens. It's pretty much a combination of both. So, yeah. So, when he turned 20 and then with the COVID situation, I was like, I need more. I want more. I'm not, I know my drinks. This is like boring. I'm very like, I don't get bored fast, but I love to be always challenged, like, and because
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do, I wanted to be a makeup artist. I really couldn't go to school in Connecticut. You need, again, 1,500 hours of cosmetology and all that stuff, full time, like 9 to 5,
Yeah.
5 days a week. How am I going to do that work? Take care of I can't. So I just
Right.
worked whatever I
Oh,
could
yeah.
while my son was growing up. And then once COVID hit, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a powder brow training. I was like so intrigued. Like, this is permanent. It's like what I've always wanted to do, but now it's permanent. It's tattooing. I love this. So I did. And then it was just like, all right, I need more. I know that this is just, a little door that opened for me. And I know a lot of like people don't keep going because it is very hard in this state. But not only is that a great thing, it's like the harder it is, the the less chances of it being saturated too, or too much going on, and then too much
Well, that's true.
like bad work or this or that. And then it like leaves more room for the people that are serious, like the state is really serious with stuff like that. Yeah.
Like it filters out the people. Yeah, it acts as
Yeah.
it's its own filter. Because like a lot of times too, what ends up happening with mentors, and I'm sure you're going to be a great mentor in like a few
Thank
years,
you.
which I'm really excited about because you would really
Thank
change so
you.
many people's lives. But what I noticed, and I think we started off the episode with me saying that like some people weaponize the gatekeeping because they are afraid of the industry
Hmm.
becoming oversaturated. But if you literally give it a chance, the way it's set up filters its own self. The journey is so
Hmm.
hard, as you know, that just being in that journey, if you're not so serious, if your work isn't top notch, if you're not doing everything to protect your health and the client's health and your back, and like even just little things like preventing carpal tunnel, preventing your back from going out, like it filters its own self. Because if you're not doing every single
Yes.
thing to protect yourself and to teach yourself and to just do all that, you're not gonna make it as far as somebody like you, for example. And I feel like in your state, they made sure to put in all these rules and regulations, which I don't think is fair, to be honest. Like I think it should be a little bit more lenient, in my opinion. But like maybe it's not as lenient because hey, you actually made the time to sit down with the health department and meet somebody and tell him what it's about and educate him. And like, yeah, the rules were hard, but you bent the rules
Hmm.
with your grit. Like that's fucking impressive. And I feel like maybe if that's what it takes, then I don't know. I just feel like you did it your own way, and you're right, like not a lot of people are now in your area, and that area isn't going to get that saturated, which is a blessing for you. But then also you get to be that source of light for people wanting to enter the industry, and like I'm sure if somebody comes into your studio asking for an apprenticeship, you're not going to treat them the way maybe like you were treated by some tattoo shops that were like, I don't want to hear it, because you went through so much. You might have a different approach to somebody trying to get in
Yeah.
because you can relate to
And
them.
honestly, it's not, I'm not going to make it easy for anybody either. You come with me, you got a lot of work to do, girl, because let me tell you. No, because I've seen it. I see the slackers and I'm just like, it gets on my nerves. I'm like, get away from me. I'm over here doing what I'm doing. And if you're not serious about it, like just, stay over there.
So you're saying if somebody wants to apply to be a your apprentice, they gotta have the same amount of energy like you. They
Yeah.
gotta be
Yeah.
in for real,
Yeah.
for real.
I'm not,
No, I respect
it's
that.
not
I
about
respect it.
everybody wants money, right? Everybody wants to make money. Everybody needs money. Okay. But something like this, it's like, I'm not going to just take your money and then you're walking around like, oh, she taught me this or she didn't teach me this. I went through the shit
Yeah.
that I went through
No.
and know what I don't want to be and know what I want to be because of it. And how like what I
Yeah.
what I put into it and what it really requires to know everything, pertaining to our profession. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just
Yeah.
tattooing, it's like a lot. And a lot of girls, I see it, like they don't even know what colors make up that brow color they used or why they used it. So it just, and it annoys me. It's like, you're just like doing shit the easy way and like just taking people's money, but you don't even know what you're doing. It gets on my nerves. So like,
Yeah. And I and it's funny because sometimes like you can have a lot of followers and you can have so many clients and still be a slacker. And I feel like it doesn't, so it doesn't equate, right? So a lot of people think that if you have a lot of followers and you have a lot of comments and you have a lot of like great
yes,
brows that you know your shit. But
yes,
it's not really true. Like knowing your shit doesn't necessarily mean that it
yes.
doesn't come with followers.
Mhm.
It's in your head. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's great that like you know your stuff and it helped you through. I think the last thing I want to bring up before we finish up this episode. By the way, this has been Every episode that we do, I feel like
Aw.
is my favorite episode. But this was really great. Like I love this. I love your
Me
energy so
too. I
much.
was so nervous, but this is like so natural for me. I feel good. I'm like, I was nervous for nothing. Like I know you.
You're doing better than yeah. No, you're doing
No,
better than me. Like you're
you make it
great.
easy.
What do you want to say?
I was just gonna say, like, I think the audience is really gonna like something like this because I feel like we haven't had an episode kind of like this before, and it's very engaging.
It's engaging and I feel like it brings a different energy. It brings a different experience, a life story. Like it brings a different like soul, you know? You get to explore like sometimes I feel like I
Yeah,
hear my
yeah,
own voice too damn much. And I you know, and I know what I've been through. Like I know I'm in
yeah,
my own body. Like you know, it's not that interesting to me. But like being with you and like listening to your story in more depth and I've been following your story, but I wanted to have you on. I wanted to know all the hurdles that you've been through cuz like I known about them, but I wanted to explore them even more because to me it's just you don't see it that often. You don't see your energy, your
thank you.
dedication that often. And I wanted people and honestly, you don't see people succeed that often, period. Like we have like the success rate in this industry is not as high as it should be because you know, you see how many trainings go on. You see all these trainers saying, you know, spots open 3 times a month for like 10, 20 students every single spot. It's like 30 students they're training every single month. Out of those 30 students, like they'll tell you
Yeah.
maybe 5 will succeed. And it has nothing to do with the training. It has nothing to do with, you know, anything, but it's just that kind of grit
Yeah,
it's
it's not for
rare,
the
you
people
know?
that want it easy, that's
And
for sure. It's not. It's
yeah. Um No, it's not. And I think the last thing I kind of wanted to bring up, it's funny because I think we're like 2023. COVID happened in 2020, right? And it's so funny because we talk about 2020 like literally the way we talk we you know we started recording time when like Jesus was born or when he died.
Well,
before Christ,
BC
yeah.
would be before Christ, and in these terms, it's BC before Corona.
Yeah, everybody had a
Yeah,
different life BC
yeah, yeah,
before
Before Corona.
COVID. I'm serious because even with us, we did so much like digging and like developing
hmm
and growing, and everybody's life changed drastically after COVID. And, you know, there's a lot of people who lost loved ones, and there's a lot of people who didn't. And, like, my
yeah,
husband was working at the ER, and, you know, it was like literally going to war every day. And, you know, it was hard, but so much, it's so good to see that a lot of people, all they needed was 3 months of don't
yeah,
fucking talk to me. 3 months of staying home with themselves, no
yeah.
bullshit, no going to restaurants, no distractions, no traffic. You don't have anything to do, and we had Wi-Fi, which is like a superpower, you know? No other like civilization ever in history of Earth
Yeah.
had Wi-Fi with 3 months of uninterruptions, hopefully, you know. There's a lot of people that did have interruptions, you know, with like I don't know,
Yeah.
like health
Deaths
issues
and
and deaths
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, but like I don't know if you had to go through that too, but did anybody like close to you, really close, die or anything like that
Not
during
really
COVID or
close,
not
but
really?
in like extended family, yeah. And then I have medical professionals
Yeah.
in my
No,
family
that's
that were,
cool.
stuck at the hospitals and just
Yeah.
people I know, like a lot of, yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean it was scary even for me, like, you know, just my husband going there every day, but it still wasn't a distraction enough for me not
exactly.
to do what I had to do. And I feel like for the people that
hmm
utilized their time in that 3 months, I mean, we're pushed years ahead. I mean, I feel like I'm
Oh,
light
yeah.
years ahead in my career. I would have never been this far if it wasn't for COVID. And it's like it's so awesome to talk to people like you that utilize that time. Like you changed your life
Yeah,
in
I
those three
definitely did.
months.
Like, especially like where I really wanted to go and what I really wanted to do. It was like, okay, this is not a joke anymore. The like the whole world just shut down. I really life's too short, Like I really want to just do what I want to do and like I raised my son. I'm good. I have like more time to really like just focus on me and do what I need to do. But let me tell you, your story
Yeah.
is pretty incredible too. Like working with your mom for so long, like, but I feel like that's just what, like my parents too, they're immigrants. They came here in their 20s. I'm first generation. That was my first language, Albanian. I wasn't, I learned English in school. We stick together, we take care of our parents, we take care of our family, we stick together. Seeing you grow, the Beauty Institute, like that
Yeah.
came out like right after like pretty much I met you. And then with everything, your
Yeah.
team,
No,
just everything.
thank
M33,
you.
everything. It's just you're growing
Thank
so
you.
much, and just everybody that, all the artists I look up to and that I'm training with, seeing their growth too, it really like inspires me that if you really want something and you want to do it, you just do it. It's going to take time. It's going to take 3 years, 5 years. But what is that in months? It sounds like a long time because we say years, but really it's not. It's like it should take that long. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it
It'll go
does.
by
It goes
quick.
by fast and a lot happens in between. But I feel like as long as you're working on yourself and your skills, they're only going to get better. It's not going to, there'll be shit if you're not doing anything, but it'll be
No,
better as
absolutely.
you grow. Everybody's just growing and it's beautiful. You're doing great. I look up to you. You're
Oh,
welcome.
thank you,
Thank
Vivi. I
you.
look up to you too. I love that your energy rubbed
Thank
off on
you.
us today. It's really gonna make me like go through the day with that positive like makes me want to go hard, you know? Like when I'm going hard at
You
things, I'm
always
gonna
go
remember
hard.
you now. Show it. I mean, yeah, but like you make it sound cooler.
Oh,
Maybe it's
thank
your
you.
cool
Oh my God.
accent.
Yes, I'll take
Show us
you.
your
I'll walk you
studio.
around.
I want to see.
Let me get this selfie here really quick. All right, so this was like an old dentist office from like the 80s. Like seriously, it even smelled like it when I first moved in here. But I redid everything. Okay, so basically, how do I turn this camera
Wow.
around? All right, so let me just flip my
I don't
phone. So
know.
basically, you just walk
Maybe.
in. This is
Yeah.
no, it's kind
Oh,
of
it's
small. It
big.
probably looks big, but I mean, it's nice. It has like a waiting area.
Oh,
Yeah, it definitely
it's
is.
nice.
This is
Yeah.
the consultation room, pretty much.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. It's
And then
so
I have my tiny
professional.
tattoo roulette.
Oh, I saw that. She
Yeah,
did the gumball.
yeah. I'm not done. I
Oh,
still have a lot more of like decorating and stuff I want to do, but this is like my little office and where I practice and where this is
damn. Look at how
that's
many
my
certifications
certificate
she
with
has.
you,
Wow.
my certificate with you, my certificate with
Oh,
you. I love
thank
it.
you,
Okay, and then
baby.
here's just another like wall you could take pictures in front of. And then this is the treatment room, and that's where I was sitting talking to you girls.
It is so
Thank
professional,
you.
so
Yeah.
clean. Like I would trust
Thank
you with
you.
my life in there. You could perform surgery in
Thank
there
you
and
so
it'd
much.
be okay.
I don't know if I would trust me with all that, but I definitely could do some brows and lips and a tiny tattoo.
No, seriously, it looks
Thank
so
you.
hygienic. Like I love that it used to be an
Yeah.
old dentist office because I feel like that's the vibe that we as humans like
Yeah.
are trained since we were kids to okay, this is like I'm getting
Yeah.
a procedure. It
Yeah.
makes you take it like seriously. Because I feel like sometimes when you're
Yeah.
going in a tattoo shop, like we have people bringing in their friends and bringing in
Yeah.
like
No.
their food and bring
Yeah.
and it's like a hangout spot because we got
Yeah.
like couches and like you just come in and chill and
Yeah.
it's like I like that artsy vibe, but then also I want the people to know that like hey, I can't like get your french fries in your skin. You cannot eat in here. Like you have to
Yeah.
go eat in the kitchen area. Like you cannot eat in here. So like I feel like with your setup, it makes it
Yeah.
where they're not going to do that cuz they know this
Yeah.
is
No,
not where
no.
that shit happens.
I don't want to have to clean crumbs and stuff. I mean, I don't mind. I
No.
clean here, pretty much every day, but there's nothing to clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I like it because you don't have to like say the
yeah.
rules. The rules
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
look like the rules. Whereas like some areas look so chill where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Let's let's all
Yeah.
hang out, have a good time. I like that it looks like
Thank
a
you. Yeah,
procedure
I'm trying
office.
to, make it nice and a
Yeah.
little cozy, a little decorative, but it's small too, so I don't want to put too much, I don't want to make it messy. I'm going to keep it nice and clean.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything before we end up the episode? I feel like you didn't say much.
Yeah, your story is
Thank
very
you. Thank you so
motivating.
much.
It's the first time I hear it. I always see that you message us on the Beauty Institute. I
Yeah.
just leave it for Shay, really, because I feel like you guys have conversation going. But yeah, it was really great hearing
Thank you.
your story and everything you went through, and yeah, totally
Thank you,
badass. I
girls,
love it.
so much. I'm so honored and grateful and thankful that, you chose me to be on your podcast as a guest. I was like,
And
I
you're the
know, it's
first
crazy.
person we chose because you're always so supportive of us. And I feel like, I don't know, we've had like the support back and forth thing going and you reciprocate. And you're one of those
Yeah.
people that match our energy. Like, I feel like not a lot of people match the energy because, like, we're always like supporting people all day long, customer service, comments.
Yeah,
We
you
try to make
do.
support groups. Like, we literally are here for people, like, literally night and day. Like, we don't stop. And we have people
Yeah.
that don't stop. It's not just me. We have a team of people here to support people and it's so hard for us and like that energy isn't
Hmm.
always reciprocated, so like some people just take and leave, don't message, don't comment, and then we don't expect it. We want you to just take the
Yeah,
online course and go about your day, like that's what we're here for. But there are some people like you where like you will show
always.
appreciation, you will support back, like you will match our energy and like give back, and I feel like that keeps us going because it's hard to just like throw flowers at an empty wall every day, or like it's not an empty wall but like at people that don't talk back. Like working online is kind of hard because you don't get to see the lives, or you don't get to really hear like the change you're making. You could just see that there's a demand for it, and like you can look at it analytically or systematically to see if your business, and you
Yeah.
have to treat it like it is a business. But at the end of the day, like emotionally, we really do give a lot to people that are trying to join the industry, and there is a lot of gatekeeping. So we're also trying to break down barriers for people too. And I feel like just knowing a person like you that will show the support back every day and kind of it verbalizes their emotions back with us, it
Yeah,
keeps us
absolutely. I
going for
mean,
sure.
you guys, you're a big part of my journey, and I am so grateful. And I just feel like, being supported, like supported and supportive, it feels good. It feels good for me to show my gratitude. And then I'm sure it feels good to receive that, to know that you're also making a difference in my life and you're helping me grow. And it's like, how can I just it's how I've always been. I've never been a hater. I've always been like very, and I that's all I want. Anywhere I've been, even through my apprenticeships, even like I said, just everybody starts somewhere. I'm that type of person, so that's what I want in my team, my group, whoever, even if it's my family. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a shitty person, I'm like, all right, bad energy, I'm all set. But I also give that good energy too. I love to like show people that I'm grateful for their, like, you guys put in a lot of work, to train, to teach, to guide
Yeah.
your responses, your questions, even your love blasts now, the Luna Club, like all that is so much like, it's so like on a much greater scale than what I'm doing. And I can't imagine, like, it's hard to take it on all on your own, but just building that and seeing how like you've built your team and everybody's just so like, it just flows. It's beautiful, and I don't know, I like to show like my
Oh,
appreciation, and
thank you.
just you guys need to know too that you're doing a great job. I mean, obviously.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you. It was
Thank
so
you
amazing
so
having
much.
you on,
Thank
like for
you.
real.
I
I
love
love
talking to
talking
you.
to you so much. It was very natural. You're
Thank
like a
you.
dope ass person, and yeah, I'm gonna stay
Yeah.
obviously keeping up with your journey, and I hope everybody follow. It's at
Yeah.
b.b
No, it's
underscore
B
PMU.
period B period because there was so many BB brows, so I had to put a period in between, and then even with underscores, if you look it up on Instagram, type in BB Brows, there's so many different. I was like, okay, how do I make this different? And so I just put BB PMU, like just to get an Instagram rolling so that I had something out there.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm like, yeah,
So it's
B
dot
dot
B
PMU.
dot
Yeah. So
B
2
dot
periods in between
PMU.
the B's.
Okay, you guys. I love that. Well,
Thank
give her a
you.
follow. And this was
Thank you
so
so
fun
much.
for us to record. And yeah, it
Thank
was so
you.
great having you on. And hopefully I'll
Thank you,
catch you on
girls, both of you
Instagram.
so much. Thank you. I'll see you on Instagram.
Thank you.
Of
All right.
course.
Bye, babe. Have a great
All
day.
right. See you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. You too.
Bye.
Bye. How do we end this?
There, she just had to do it.
All right. Well, I hope they enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to hear someone's story, and it's good to know that we work.
We work. Yeah, like we make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good to hear. And it wasn't even just that. It was like, I don't know. It was good to hear that there's people out there that have that kind of drive.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, great episode.
Yeah.
And
All right.
now
Now we're done. All right. See you guys in the next time.
all right.
Bye.
Bye.